Hey guys, happy new year and thanks for tuning into my first video of 2018. I'm in the car again and I'm filming somewhere pretty public, so I've had quite a few people walking past me and wondering what I'm doing, which is a bit awkward. But either way, I'm out here. I'm gonna go for a drive today. I'm gonna be discussing whether you should choose an automatic or manual gearbox when you're learning to drive, and sharing some of my thoughts on that. So just to give you my opinion now, I think that everyone should learn how to drive a manual, and it's an important skill to have and know. Maybe not so much in the future where a lot of cars are going to be automatic only, or you'll be seeing going down the lines of electric cars and like Teslas and other brands like that. You'll be seeing cars that are only coming out in automatic gearboxes. So I think at some point in the future, maybe it's not necessary to know how to drive a manual, but it will give you a good foundation to understand exactly how your car works. So rather than me rambling on here, let's get driving and I'll continue the video. Right, so to start off, my opinion is that everyone should know how to drive manual, and that's the option you should go for when you're learning how to drive. And the reason I say this is because sometimes you might find yourself in a situation where the only car available for you to drive is a manual car. And if you only have an automatic license, that means you can't drive anything. So to give you an example, about 2 years ago I was in France and we were at a car hire place, and the only good cars there were available in manual, and the selection that had automatic gearboxes wasn't too great. Most of the cars available to drive are manual there. So if you only had an automatic license, you wouldn't have had much choice in that kind of situation. So that's just one thing. Like if you need to borrow a friend's car or something like that, and that friend only has a manual car, when that friend has a manual car, you're going to be limited to being able to drive it. It's a simple thing. I'm sure you get exactly what I'm saying. Now another reason I prefer manual to automatic is because I feel like you have a lot more control over the car and exactly what you're doing. If you learn how to drive manual, you get a pretty good understanding of how your car works and exactly what's going on under the bonnet. Well, not really under the bonnet, but inside the gearbox as you're going along. Whereas with an automatic, it's pretty easy just to sit here, put your foot down on the pedal and not know anything about what's happening under the hood and just enjoy the drive, which is good. Like, it's a stress-free experience, to be honest, compared to manual, having to be changing gears and stuff like that. Automatic is a lot easier. I think if you're a car guy, car girl, if you're into your cars, you like driving, you really enjoy driving, then you may find times that you're not going to be completely satisfied with an automatic gearbox compared to a manual. I think driving purists always tend to go with manual gearboxes because you get that complete driving feel of having total control what's going on, and you can pretty much treat the car exactly how you want to treat it. You're in control. Automatic is kind of trusting the computer to pretty much make decisions for you, and most of the time, I'll say if this car 80% of the time gets it right and does what you want it to do, but that's not all the time. Sometimes like the car will be in the wrong gear and it'll take a second to get into the right one, and you'll be wishing, oh, I wish I could just change that gear myself, or I want to do that myself. And let's say you had a car that had a flappy paddle gearbox. You could just like shift the gears as you feel like it, but in most cases that's an optional extra. You'd have to pay more money to get a gearbox like that, or to get that feature on your car that supports your gearbox. Now, I don't want to talk down on automatics. I don't want to make it seem like I'm hating on it or saying that it's inferior to manual, because it's not. And you find a lot of really good cars these days that come with auto gearboxes that work perfectly and can shift faster than any human being could with a manual. And the bottom line is that autos are getting faster and smarter than any manual gearbox could be. So if you look at, let's say, if you go on a website of any high performance car manufacturer and you see their ranges, have a look at the range of cars that are on there and compare the specs of the auto ones to the manual. I think in most cases, if it's like a supercar or very high performance car, you'll find that the auto performs better than the manual just because the car is able to shift quicker than any human being will be able to. So I think your experience with auto and manual is really going to differ depending on what kind of car you have. So for example, this BMW 1 Series my particular car isn't a high performance car. It's not a sports car either, it's just a normal car. But the auto gearbox in this car works better than other automatic gearboxes that I've driven in other cars. And if I was to buy an M car, like an M3 or an M5, then I would have an even better experience. Or even if I was to buy a newer BMW, I think I'd find that the driving experience would be smoother, and the gear shifts would be smoother, and the changes would probably be faster. So there's one thing to bear in mind, not every car is created equally, and that if you're buying a car, I'd always recommend doing a test drive or doing your research to understand if you're going to like the car and if that car is your kind of style, if it suits your style of driving and suits your needs, before you decide to go and buy it without knowing much about it. And one thing that I find very convenient with auto is when you're in the situation that you need to change gears very quickly and just get the power down. Let's say you're about to have a near miss or something like that, or someone's like shifted into your lane and swerved towards you, something like that. All you have to do is put your foot down hard and the car pretty much drops into the perfect gear for you to escape that situation as quickly as possible. As for manual, there's more thought to it. If you're someone who panics in a emergency situation, you might find yourself in the wrong gear when you need to get out of a tight spot. That being said though, I find with this car that it's not every single time that I need to put my foot down that it responds straight away. Sometimes there's a couple, maybe a 1-2 second lag that I experience with the car not quite getting into gear. Like maybe it's the torque converter not being able to put the power down straight away, but that's something I've experienced. So hasn't all been like sweet and rosy. It's not perfect, but I like it. I think for like faster driving, maybe let's say you're like on country roads or something like that, I would prefer a manual personally. I like the sporty feel of driving, just being in control. I enjoy it a lot more. I enjoy driving manual a lot more than I enjoy an automatic car. And that's just my personal preference. And not everyone is going to feel that same way. So to sum up what I've been saying, and just to let you know, this is like the second or third time that I'm repeating all that I've said, because each time I've recorded, the GoPro's kind of acted up a bit and skipped frames in the video, and I haven't been able to use the footage. So let me give you a summary of what I've been saying. If you're learning to drive, I would recommend as much as possible to go for manual. If you're buying a car, it's different. It's down to you what you want. It's down to you how you use your car. No one can make that decision for you. But it's good to be able to at least say, I've experienced manual, I know it's not for me, rather than never being able to have that choice. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully you haven't minded not being able to see my face in the camera for most of it, but here I am. Either way, if you like this, please subscribe, give me a thumbs up, and follow me on all of my social medias, which are in the description. And also let me know what you want to be seeing on future videos. If you want me to talk about a specific topic, let me know and I'll be open to doing it. See you guys, thanks for watching.